for us to know today that the Federal Reserve System is nothing more or less than a banking cartel. And so when the chairman of the Federal Reserve steps before one of those congressional committees and he says, well, let me explain our monetary policy. We decided to raise interest rates, or we decided to lower interest rates, or whatever we decided to do, he always says it's because it's in the best interest of America. It's for you folks. We raised interest rates to cool down rampant inflation for you folks. Or we lowered interest rates to stimulate investment and production, to get the economy moving again for you folks. When in truth, a cartel has only one purpose for existence, and you folks have nothing to do with it. A cartel is only there to enhance and promote the interests of the members of the cartel. So if Mr. Bernanke, or formerly Greenspan, had said, well, we raised interest rates this week because we thought we could get away with it, nobody would mind, that wouldn't go over too well, because that's not in the interest of you folks. But once you understand that basic nature of the Fed, that it is a banking cartel, then so much, if not everything, that's happening in recent times and in the immediate future suddenly makes sense. And you are not the beneficiary of any of it. You may wonder in recent times when we see the Federal Reserve creating these, used to be billions, which scare us, now it's trillions. And one week alone, I think they created $17 trillion out of nothing. That's what they do, you know. Out of nothing. Where did that money come from? Nothing. It didn't come from anywhere. And where did it go? That's the thing that shocked people. Well, it went to the banks, didn't it? What do you expect? Duh. That's what those guys are there for. It's not to give it to you. It's not to stimulate the economy. It's not to stimulate the home market. It's not to provide jobs or employment or anything. It's to make sure that the banks do not fail. So they can make risky investments. They can loan millions, billions of trillions of dollars to third world countries or corporations that don't stand a chance of ever again making a profit. But they'll lend the money anyway because they can collect interest on it. And if the loan goes bad, they can go back to Congress, their partners in this cartel, and say, in the interest of America, we must provide this money to keep these banks afloat, because if the banks close, America will fall and will be taken over by the Red Chinese, or something like that. Children will starve. Unemployment will be worse. It's always to help you folks that all of this money is created out of nothing, and you've noticed it either goes directly to the banks to make their balance sheet better, to wipe off those losses, or it goes to the companies and countries that owe money to the banks so that they can continue making their payments to the banks. So it's either directly or indirectly, most of that money winds up in the banks. And as you continue looking down this path where we're headed, you see where we started, where we are now, and I'm going to say it again and over again, unless there are some major changes in the forces acting on that line of history, it's going to get worse, and nothing is really ever going to change. But the starting point is to understand the true nature of this creature from Jekyll Island.